Dear student, today I am going to speak on the topic abnormal uterine bleeding. First, we should know what is abnormal uterine bleeding. Abnormal uterine bleeding means any uterine bleeding outside the normal volume, duration, regularity, or frequency is considered abnormal uterine bleeding. Nearly 30% of all gynecological outpatient attendants are for AUB. If there is a pelvic pathology causing such bleeding. If there is a no pelvic pathology, then such bleeding is called as dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Normal menstrual cycle. Normal length is about 28 days. Menstrual flow lasts for 4 to 5 days and normal blood loss is about 30 ml. Pattern of abnormal uterine bleeding. Menorrhagia. Menorrhagia is defined as a cyclic bleeding at normal interval. The bleeding is either excessive in amount, more than 80 ml, or duration for more than 7 days, or both. Causes: example, fibroid uterus, adenomyosis, pelvic endometriosis, IUCD in utero, chronic ovarian mass, tubercular endometritis, retroverted uterus due to congestion, granulosa cell tumor of the ovary. Hypermenorrhea. In hypermenorrhea, reduced blooding at regular interval. There will be blood loss less than 5 ml or number of days of bleeding is less than 2 days. Seen in Asherman syndrome. Presence of intrauterine adhesion and defective endometrium caused as a result of excessive curettage. Oligomenorrhea. Oligomenorrhea means menstrual bleeding occurring more than 35 days apart and which remain constant at that frequency. Since the duration of cycle is long, the number of cycles in a year is less, hence also known as infrequent menstruation. Causes: age related in adolescence and preceding menopause. Obesity, stress, PCOS, PCOS, which is most common, hyperthyroidism or hyperprolactinemia. Polymenorrhea. Polymenorrhea means cycle is reduced to an arbitrary limit of less than 21 days. Here short cycle and frequent menstruation. Metorrhagia. Metorrhagia means irregular acyclic bleeding, also called intermenstrual bleeding, seen in case of polyp. Menometrorrhagia. There is excessive bleeding at regular interval, seen in fibroid polyp or in case of an ovulatory cycle. Now come to the classification of AUB. American College of Obstetrician and Gynecologists introduced newer system of terminology to describe AUB. The newer classification system is known by the acronym PALM-QUINE. Structural causes include PALM: P for polyp, A for adenomyosis, L for leiomyoma, M for malignancy and hyperplasia. Non-structural causes include QUINE: C for coagulopathy, O for ovulatory dysfunction, disorder of ovulation like oligoovulation, anovulation, polycystic ovarian changes, and corpus luteum dysfunction may result in AUB. E for endometrial. Primary disorder of endometrium may be the cause of AUB or DUB. Imbalance in the level of different hemostatic mechanism may be responsible for heavy menstrual bleeding. Other local endometrial factors to cause AUB like chronic endometritis, endometrial vascular pathology. I for iatrogenic cause of AUB. Breakthrough bleeding following the use of combined oral contraceptive, erratic use of pills or any contraceptive steroid, use of IUCD or LNG and IUS. And not yet defined. How will you manage AUB? Detailed history taking and physical examinations should be done. Medical history include age of the patient, pattern of abnormal uterine bleeding, severity, associated pain, family history, and use of medication. General and physical examination include pallor, edema, neck gland, thyroid, systemic examination, and pelvic examination, palpar speculum, pap smear, and bimanual examination. Laboratory investigation include CBC, thyroid profile, pregnancy test, and coagulation profile. First line of investigation include transvaginal ultrasonography. In transvaginal ultrasonography, it, we should look for endometrial thickness or any endometrial polyp. If a endometrial thickness in premenopausal women is more than 12 mm or in menopausal women is greater than 4 mm, we should go for biopsy, endometrial biopsy. How will you take biopsy? We by we take biopsy by two methods. First, endometrial aspiration biopsy. It is a OPD procedure in this instrumental Pipley device by which we can take endometrial biopsy. Second, by hysteroscopy guided biopsy. Through hysteroscope, we can take endometrial biopsy, and it is also used for diagnostic and therapeutic procedure. Now come to the dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Any menstrual bleeding with deviation from the normal characteristic of menstrual cycle without any pelvic pathology is called dysfunctional uterine bleeding. In most of cases, it is anovulatory. How will we approach in case of dysfunctional uterine bleeding? In young female, most of the cause of the DUB is are due to puberty, menorrhagia, any thyroid dysfunction like hypothyroidism. In some cases, like bleeding disorder, coagulation, bleeding disorder. We should in young people we should take proper history, and laboratory investigations should be done like complete hemogram, thyroid profile, and coagulation profile. If and then we can do transvaginal sonography. In reproductive age female, most of the DUB is due to like puberty, menorrhagia, any thyroid disorder like hypothyroidism, bleeding disorder, coagulation, bleeding disorder. All pre-menstrual condition are seen in reproductive age group. So then we should first rule out the CIN and CIN by doing colposcopy or pap smear. In menopausal female, we should definitely rule out the cancer by pap smear, colposcopy, or endometrial biopsy. Now come to the medical management of dysfunctional uterine bleeding. In case of mild to moderate bleeding, we can use non-hormonal management. Non-hormonal management include tranexamic acid and mefenamic acid. Tranexamic acid reduces menstrual blood loss by 50%. It counteracts the endometrial fibrinolytic system. It is particularly helpful in IUCD-induced menorrhagia. Mefenamic acid is a much effective in women aged more than 35 years, and in case of ovulatory DUB, the dose is 150 to 600 mg orally in divided days during the bleeding phase. Next, oral contraceptive pills. Progesterone will maintain endometrial lining, and synthetic estrogen will lead to less proliferation of the endometrium. Progesterone pills dose is 5 mg BD for 21 days in reproductive age. Also use Mirena, progesterone, IUCD in reproductive age group. In case of severe bleeding, we should first check the vitals. If vital is stable, in this situation where there is a bleeding is acute, severe, conjugated estrogen 25 milligram is given intravenously. It helps with rapid growth of the definitive endometrium and provide platelet adhesiveness. It control bleeding may be process of healing. It may be repeated every 4 hours till the bleeding is controlled. When oral therapy is started, once the bleeding is stopped, progesterone, medroxyprogesterone acetate 10 milligram a day is to be added. Combined oral contraceptive is used for long treatment. If vital unstable, first we should do dilatation and curettage, then we start OCP or progesterone. Surgical management of DUV. If bleeding is not controlled by medical management, we can do endometrial ablation. It is also called minimal invasive surgery. Endometrial ablation include endometrial laser ablation, electrosurgical endometrial ablation, radiofrequency induced thermal endometrial ablation, microwave endometrial ablation, and uterine balloon therapy. Laser ablation of endometrium using Nd:VAG laser through hysteroscope is an alternative to hysterectomy. It is employed as an elective alternative to hysterectomy or when hysterectomy has been medically contraindicated. Tissue destruction by coagulation, vaporization, and carbonization to a depth of 4 to 5 mm produce a therapeutic Asherman syndrome and amenorrhea. Transcervical resection of endometrium through continuous flow resectoscope is a quicker and less costlier than laser ablation. It can be carried out even under paracervical block. The resectoscope loop must remove the basal layer of endometrium along with superficial layer of myometrium. NovaSure. The endometrial ablation is done using a bipolar radio frequency mounted on the expandable frame. These create a confluent lesion on the entire endometrial surface. Time reduced for global endometrial ablation is 90 seconds approximately. Radio frequency energy vaporize or coagulate the endometrium up to the myometrium. The procedure is quick, simple, and safe. Women with uterine cavity less than 4 cm and PID cesarean delivery are contraindicated. Microwave endometrial ablation is simple and carried out as an outpatient procedure. Microwave electromagnetic heat energy causes ablation of the endometrium. Endometrial tissue up to the depth of 6 mm is ablated. Temperature in the region is 75 to 80 degrees Celsius. Treatment time is 2 to 3 minutes. Is less compared to the TCRA. Results are similar to TCRC. Uterine thermal balloon for destruction of endometrium is currently used with satisfactory result. Endometrium is destroyed using a thermal balloon with hot thermal saline for 8 to 10 minutes. No dilatation of cervical canal is needed. This procedure is suitable for women who are not suitable for general anesthesia or long duration surgery. The success rate is similar to the transcervical resection of the endometrium. No pre-treatment endometrial thinning is required. This is considered as a first-line therapy and is done a day care basis. Uterine artery embolization is done in women with large uterine fibroid more than 3 cm with heavy bleeding. Now come to the hysterectomy. It is not recommended as the first line therapy for heavy menstrual bleeding or DOA. However, hysterectomy is justified when the conservative treatment fails or contraindicated and the blood loss impaired the health and quality of life. Presence of endometrial hyperplasia and atypia on endometrial histology is an indication for a hysterectomy, and decision can be easily as the patient is approaching 40 and her family is completed. It's all about the uh, AUB and UV. Thank you, student.